In the near future, technology will reach such a level that allows you to create androids that are indistinguishable from humans. And artificial intelligence will create the consciousness of such machines. How then to understand who is in front of you, a robot or a human? Is it possible to be sure that you yourself are not an android?
Watch fantastic recaps by fans of the movies.
In the promising future, humans and androids seamlessly intertwine their lives. Aisha, a senior at Merced High School in California, visits her therapist to discuss a recent panic attack and its preceding events. Aisha's typical day commenced with a rendezvous with her friend Carrie and her boyfriend Levi. In the midst of a class experiment involving sound waves, Aisha suddenly experiences a headache, prompting her to disrupt the class. Those around her react with suspicion, as her behavior is deemed inexplicable. The therapist attributes her actions to an incurable ailment. Later, Carrie invites a friend to a party. Aisha goes after her boyfriend Levi but catches him cheating on her with an android. Enraged, Aisha decides to attend the party alone, indulging in alcohol and attempting to form a connection with another guy, only to be thwarted by Levi. As the night progresses, Aisha, under the influence, stumbles, injuring herself on glass shards in the bathroom. The shocking discovery of wires within her body induces fear. Examining herself, she extracts another wire from her ear, leading to her losing consciousness. Aisha wakes up in the morning in her bed and is horrified to discover injuries not only on her arm but also on her stomach, with visible glowing wires in the wounds. Wanting to share her experience with her father Martin, she finds that he has already left for work. Heading to school, her friend Carrie greets her, expressing concern about Aisha leaving the party. However, Aisha is determined to delve deeper into her identity, taking one of the androids into the tech room for a conversation. Displaying her wounds to the android, it reveals that she has a built-in data processing system. Aisha comprehends that she is also an android, but a more advanced one, with an appearance indistinguishable from a human. Seeking guidance, she turns to her therapist Sharon, disclosing the alarming discovery. The doctor, seemingly aware of the situation, utters several code phrases that trigger Aisha's rest mode. Sharon reviews the girl's memories on her tablet and informs her father that she has come to understand her true nature. The following day, Aisha wakes up from a dreadful dream where she had killed her pet. After calming herself, she proceeds to the kitchen for breakfast. She discusses the dream with her father before heading to school. Unexpectedly, a conflict arises with her friend Carrie at school, who raises issues from the previous day, though Aisha has no recollection. In one of the school laboratories, Aisha spots her classmate Jenny, who had glimpsed the wounds on Aisha the day before. Jenny inquires about Aisha's well-being, but the girl is puzzled and unaware of the situation. Jenny then activates one of the devices generating high-frequency sounds, triggering another headache for Aisha. Such a frequency is only audible to androids. The bewildered girl rushes out of the classroom and encounters the android she spoke to yesterday. He inquires about her well-being following their previous conversation, but the girl can't recall anything. Taking the android aside, she attempts to recollect their discussion. The android explains that Aisha's memories were wiped, but he reinstates them. As the girl starts re-experiencing past events, she panics and flees from the school. She runs out of town, but as she nears the settlement's border, her body refuses to move any further. Meanwhile, at a major technology company, its owner Noah is presenting new nanorobots. These microscopic machines enter the brain of a girl suffering from deafness, successfully curing her. Following the demonstration, one of the employees pulls Noah aside, notifying him of an issue with one of the androids in the city of Merced. Aisha returns to the school and meets Levi. She requests cheat codes from him, enabling her to bypass the android's defenses and make them carry out user-defined tasks. Armed with the obtained data, she activates various functions of her body that were previously inaccessible. Now, she can recognize people, fetch information about them from the internet, identify faces, and eavesdrop on conversations over long distances. She even manages to simulate her own menstrual cycle. Suddenly, her memories are flooded with recollections of a little boy pleading for her not to abandon him. The strain on Aisha's system increases and she shuts down, collapsing in the street. Noah, his brother Abel, and a corporate representative discuss the resulting problem with their android. The head of the company sends his brother to deal with it. Passers-by help Aisha and urge to call doctors, but the girl's father arrives and takes her away. He claims that she doesn't need doctors. Martin tells his daughter that he will be back soon, but Aisha's hearing allows her to hear the man talk about how lying only makes her situation worse. He leaves for Sharon's house to discuss his daughter's condition. Martin feels that this can't go on any longer and wants to tell Aisha the truth, but Sharon convinces him not to. She believes that if the girl finds out everything, the tech company will also figure it out and come to take Aisha away. While her father is away, the girl rummages through his things and finds a tablet that he uses to monitor not only her life but her thoughts as well. The plot transports the viewer to Dallas 4 years back in the past. At a teacher's meeting, Martin sees Aisha playing alone and approaches her for a conversation. The girl reveals that she is here with her mother, Professor Sharon. Martin and Sharon spend the night together, and while lying in bed, the man confesses that Aisha reminds him of his late daughter. The three of them continue their time together, but the woman never reveals that Aisha is an android. One day, Martin gives Aisha a ride and the android has a malfunction. Sharon arrives, puts the android into rest mode, and takes it home. There, Martin is angry that he has not been told the whole truth. Sharon explains that she did it for her safety. However, a deceived Martin leaves. 2 months later, Sharon finds him at a cafe and informs him that the girl misses him very much. Martin also shares her feelings. Then the adults decide that Aisha will move with him to California, where he will act as her father and Sharon will become her therapist. Aisha encounters her father returning from Sharon at home. The girl attempts to uncover the complete truth about herself. Martin reveals that Aisha is a program developed by Sharon during her tenure at a robotics company. However, the management opposed androids evolving to the point where they couldn't be distinguished from humans. The company sought to halt Sharon's progress. An infuriated Aisha storms off to school, encountering the android she conversed with earlier. He assures her that he can prevent the erasure of her memory, and she implores him to do so. Later, she confronts Sharon, expressing her discontent with constant surveillance. Aisha threatens to release a video she recorded of herself on the internet if the professor doesn't cease the monitoring. Reluctantly, the woman agrees. The girl asserts her newfound independence, radically altering her appearance and rejoining school. Despite attempts by Carrie and Levi to communicate with her, she ignores them. During this time, Sharon reviews Aisha's recordings, recalling a conversation with the company's CEO when she created the girl. They ordered the cessation of the project, deeming it futile, and suggested hiding the android in a warehouse. Meanwhile, at school, Aisha continues her routine, leaving a test incomplete. On her way out, she witnesses Abel removing the malfunctioning android from the school, using a special gun to disable it. The man notices the schoolgirl observing him. Aisha walks down the street but panics upon spotting Abel's black van tailing her. She starts running and is narrowly missed by the car. Jenny intervenes, following her from school. The classmate explains that she tracked Aisha using an old device in her leg. Abel returns to school, reviewing the data stored by the android. Discovering Aisha as their company's creation, he watches an image of Aisha revealing her wired hand to the android. Kari notices this and captures the scene on her phone. Jenny assists Aisha in removing the old tracker and escorts her to a discreet location. She discloses that they were once close friends and spent considerable time together. Aisha returns home to pack her belongings, where Martin greets her and implores her to stay for safety. However, she persuades him that leaving is the better option. Getting into the car with Jenny and Levi, who has agreed to help them escape. Abel, during the night, ambushes Kari in her car, erases the captured pictures of Aisha, and administers an unknown substance, causing her to lose consciousness. Sharon visits Martin's house to discuss Aisha, and they head back to the professor's residence, encountering Abel, who seeks information on Aisha's whereabouts. Despite Martin's threat to involve the police, the guest persuades him against it, highlighting the potential legal ramifications for Sharon. Aisha and her friends decided to head to Canada. During the journey, they discuss Levi's involvement with a school android. When he insists it's just a machine, Aisha becomes irritated and exits the car. She feels offended, realizing she is also an android. The group resumes their journey, stopping for the night at a motel. In the morning, while Levi fetches coffee, Jenny attempts to retrieve her friend's early memories. Simultaneously, at the company office, Abel presents his brother with all the information he has collected about Aisha. At the motel, old memories start resurfacing in Aisha's mind, triggered by Jenny. The girl learns that her relationship with her classmate went beyond friendship, involving love and mutual obsession. Upon noticing this, Martin asks Sharon to reprogram his daughter to restore her to a normal state where she isn't fixated on anyone. The professor erases all of Aisha's memories of Jenny, causing significant emotional pain to her friend. The recollection of moments when Sharon presented her creation to her superiors also surfaced. However, they rejected the android, consigning it to a warehouse. Abruptly, Aisha let out a loud cry and dashed out of the motel. She remembered that there was another android in the company warehouse, a little boy. The narrative shifts back 5 years, when Aisha expressed her profound loneliness to Sharon, prompting the professor to create a brother for her. Running down the road, the girl reminisces about these events, but soon her battery starts to deplete and she settles by the roadside. Jenny and Levi discover her there and transport her to the nearest electric charging station, leaving her alone for a few minutes. Unexpectedly, Abel assaults Aisha and abducts her. He brings the android to the company, secures her in a wheelchair, and transports her through the corridors. The girl questions why he didn't deactivate her, and Abel responds that his brother wanted to observe her. Aisha asks to see her brother, and the kidnapper agrees, recognizing the sincerity of her emotions. He implores them to hasten, but at that moment, Noah enters the warehouse and escorts the girl to another room where Martin and Sharon await her. Aisha pleads with the company's head to allow her to depart, but he believes it would harm his business. Subsequently, the girl attempts to flee, but a virus previously installed by Abel begins to take effect in her body. The program systematically deactivates all the functions of the android, causing it to crash and preventing it from reaching her brother. Martin cradles Aisha, holding her in his arms as her functions slowly shut down one by one. Just before her demise, she requests to convey a verbal command password to Jenny. The girl and her brother are dispatched to a recycling facility where their bodies are processed into scrap metal. Martin and Sharon depart the company and encounter Jenny and Levi. They share the somber news, and the man imparts his daughter's final words to her friend. Several days later, at school, Jenny and Levi encounter the android with whom Aisha frequently engaged. Jenny decides to attempt the password command on it, and after a few attempts, she succeeds. This triggers the files that Aisha had embedded in the android. Within them, she has documented a message to her father, elucidating that her digital duplicate has been conserved, and she is seeking someone to fabricate a new android body. The film concludes with a scene from a small factory in China where workers are assembling android body components. In the corner, utterly motionless, Aisha's body is visible.
Watch fantastic recaps by fans of the movies.
Do you believe androids would ever live among humans, and could we get along with such neighbors? Your support of our channel is priceless, and we are very thankful for it. Leave comments below the video so we can give you better recaps,